bloodyface versus Muzzy coming up next. A match that directly correlates to that playoff.
Also on my sheet.
Also on TJ's sheet. He has the 8 matches that need to happen for the 5-player tie condition. So let's go ahead and check in on bloodyface's deck here first, as I do believe that he has brought the mage this week. He has the Snip Snap in the main deck, but you know, I do like that these mage trends have the tertiary decks just have one replacement of some of those options like Banana Buffoon, Archmage, and Tinnitus for the halftime scavenger. I do think that's a good touch in case they need that against aggressive decks.
Yep.
And I think that's partially like just acknowledgement that you don't have to use 5 cards to switch your decks to have a good game plan against other things.
Yeah, it's the deck operates well by itself. It's double Sea Giant in the main deck, Snip Snap to be able to fight for those early boards and good against late game decks. This is the version of Cyclone Mage that I like the best. Secondary and tertiary deck excluded, so if you ignore those, just the primary deck is the, in a nutshell, version of Cyclone Mage that I like the best. It's consistent, it runs Pocket Galaxy in main deck, which kind of slow, but it's good in every matchup. If you watched the Europe Grandmasters earlier today, Board Control had a situation where he was playing against Fino, he was behind the whole game, played Luna's Pocket Galaxy, drew Antonice off the top, it stuck, he won the game. So things like that aren't possible. Well, he drew Stargaze Luna, then Sorcerer's Apprentice, then drew into Antonitis, but you get my point. So that's the version that I like the best. Muzzy, however, playing Control Warrior.
Yes, I think Muzzy's taken a leaf out of the Americas last week, where Race, Monsanto, and Eddie played Control Warrior. Shaxi also played a Control Warrior in Asia Pacific, and combined went 6-2, 75% win rate across the weekend, even defeating Cyclone Mage. And many people are touting that Control Warrior is just better versus the Cyclone Mage, given that you actually have minions, or sorry, removal spells for all their minions, instead of hoping that you draw like your bombs, and your minions that play on curve. So overall, really good stuff here from Muzzy if he makes that correct read and works out for him. But bloodyface has that Pocket Galaxy, which could probably change up all of those percentages.
Absolutely, yeah. Pocket Galaxy in the main deck, and just having double Sea Giant and Archmage and Tinnitus main deck, I think gives bloodyface a slight edge overall in the matchup. But Control Warrior, like we've talked about, just the ability to have the option to remove every threat, especially once the secondary deck is added for Muzzy, which has Execute, Slam, Big Game Hunter, Super Collider. Just kind of, you know, makes things crazy. But bloodyface on the coin game 1.
Let's see if we can make this a mathematical equation. What do you think the win rate is of Luna's Pocket Galaxy in this matchup?
Like when played in the matchup at all, when played on 5, in what context?
Just if you have it in your like opening hand.
If you have it in your opening hand,
this is like totally Price is Right, no pressure. I'm not expecting you to know this.
65%.
And then without it?
Low 50s. 51.
Okay. So you think even without Pocket Galaxy, still at the edge?
I think so.
Well,
given
that's just your opinion on the specific matchup, right?
This Muzzy's decklist versus bloodyface's decklist.
Okay. Well, let me see if I can figure this out in my handy dandy HS replay notebook. The mulligan win rate for Luna's Pocket Galaxy against Warrior is 75%.
Wow, I undershot.
Yes. But the matchup is overall 45%.
Someday I'll be just like you.
To Control Warrior. So a 30-point differential just based off a very cursory glance. Of course,
I think it's
not the same exact. It's not the same exact deck list.
Yeah.
And it's also I didn't filter off of rank, or I didn't filter off of going first versus the coin because the mage has the coin. There's all these different factors, but just to give you an indication of how dramatic it is of a win percentage increase, it is Barnes tier of having it on 4.
Yeah.
Like, Skull Minari was great and all, but it was still nowhere near as high as like that kind of polarization. Just want to point it out.
Wow.
Anyways, continue, TJ. We can cast this game.
Well, bloodyface going with the early Sorcerer's Apprentice, but unfortunately picking up a lot of dead stuff. Blast Wave, Flame Strike, Ray of Frost, not great against Control Warrior. He wanted proactive things. He wanted things that generate minions. Even unexpected results I'd take. Power of Creation, Conjurer's Calling, direct damage, Fireballs, Frostbolts, Pyroblast, Thunderstorms.
He had the dream. He had magic tricks into magic tricks into magic tricks. I mean, I kind of missed that part because I was too busy browsing the dank internet. But what does bloodyface do in this position? Play Snip Snap because he doesn't have anything else to do?
Yeah, I like Snip Snap.
I like it. I don't love it. We need to play on curve. For Muzzy, you gotta be thinking, with so many randomly generated spells, am I playing too slow by taking it easy and say using shield block instead, or should I play faster on tempo? Because I might be giving him value off of his removal spells. I personally like playing for tempo in the matchup because I think that's how Mage creeps up on you. If you leave up, you know, the minions, that's how they play like Banana Buffoon and get really far ahead and then just keep hitting you for like 4 or 5 damage a turn.
Yeah, and then you use all of your removal to get rid of the stuff that you left on the board early game, and then they hit you with the Giant or an Archmage into Ice, and you can't deal with it.
Phantom Militia and Dragonthorn Lancer, just a couple of okay cards. But like I said, ironically enough, this is probably around the average stat line you get out of 4-mana minions too.
Yeah.
Ooh, if Muzzy rips this Militia Commander off the Town Crier. Oh. Does not. But he still can use Shield Slam here. I don't know if he wants to. Shield Slam is premium removal in case bloodyface plays a big threat. And also, if he just runs out of Shield Slam, sometimes we see that, like, tempo Antoniah is played. In this scenario, I think... I'm trying to think if we're willing to accept this damage.
I mean, you clear off 2 minions.
Yeah.
For the Shield Slam, effectively. Because you get to attack into the smaller form Lancer.
You did also see a Conjurer's Calling, which when the opponent has a full hand, somewhat implies that he doesn't. Pretty much implies that he doesn't have the Mountain Giant, right? Because his opponent's coming up on the Mountain Giant coin Conjurer's Calling turn. Wow. Using the owl to silence his frozen minion.
I guess there's no Twilight Drakes.
That's actually just way better. I can't believe I didn't pay attention to that.
Well, I mean, I guess so. Silence is the card that has the most uses. Like Shield Slam, you can only use when you have armor or when you have shield block to be able to get through it. Whereas Owl, you're gonna be in a situation where a minion is frozen this game. There may be a situation where you need to deny healing from Ziliax. There may be a situation where you don't have removal for Archmage Dice. You need an emergency way to remove it.
Yeah, Silence does have more versatility in terms of answering what's going on, but in terms of what his hand can do, I think keeping his Shield Slam is fairly important.
What to do.
Yeah, bloodyface, if he had the Giant, had a 3-mana Giant available this turn, plus a Coin Conjurer's Calling, which is why it's pretty safe to assume that he doesn't have it. He does pick up the Banana Buffoon instead. He can also go for a Blast Wave, which is also pretty interesting given that Blast Wave is generally hard to collect value against Warrior, but he can. And I wonder if that's actually what he's going for right now, because with this Frost Nova, not only does he have to push damage, but he can collect that Blast Wave value later on. An interesting idea. But I think if you use Blast Wave, are you destroying your own momentum too much?
Probably also only had room in his hand, even with coin used for 2 spells.
Right.
And that would fill up his hand. So kind of awkward.
Not kinda, definitely awkward.
Cringe, some may say.
So if bloodyface uses Blast Wave, he actually has too many cards, but he can use Ray of Frost as well. Another Frost Nova. But that's a second Frost Nova, and he has 2 Blast Waves. Blast Waves doesn't actually kill everything, though. But he can, what he can do is he can banana one of the Microbots and then clear the board and only draw 1 spell off the Blast Wave.
And then burn the next card. No,
It would be 9 cards. He definitely doesn't want to burn the next card because his next
Wait, no,
card.
you draw 2. You can have 2.
What to do?
Dynamic Owl and the next Microbot.
What to do?
No, you banana the 1/1, trade it to the Ziliax. The other 1/1 goes to the 4/3, and then you Blast Wave.
Oh,
So
yeah.
there's 1 left, and then you cleared the entire board.
Yeah, it gives him the 3 health, but I guess at this point you're out of steam. So.
You're not killing him with just burn.
Yeah. I mean, he has no burn.
What to do?
I definitely don't think, like,
Whoa. He really wants to push damage.
is he gonna, well, if he's, are you sure about that? Wait, what? Ah, he messed up the ping. He pinged his own minion. He unlocked the forbidden APM technique. He attacked so fast and hero power that he caught his own minion in the process. Because Unity logic.
He was skeet shooting.
Ski. Oh my goodness.
Pull!
Oh man, and Bloodyface is, I think, more than being upset, I think he's just embarrassed because that's a very clear error.
You can see him trying to justify it to himself, like, wait a second.
It's like, yeah. I don't
pinged.
want him to Sea Giant.
Muzzy's got to be thinking, was that intentional? Am I getting next leveled here?
Right. Why would he emo right after he did it? Muzzy's like, oh, is he like restricting his board for Blast Wave? The Sea Giant.
Oh no.
He would have had a 4-mana Sea Giant, which would have let him play Conjurer's Calling. Not that I think it was even the right play in that instance, given that Muzzy has all this removal. But it actually might have been.
Yeah. Huh. Well, I guess you got a Flame Strike. Ah, no, but then you can't play Sea Giant. I honestly think Sea Giant Conjurer's Calling would have been the right play.
I think so, given that he could have restricted the board too from his opponent.
Because if you Flame Strike, then you're not playing Sea Giant for a while.
Right. And Bloodyface was keeping his hand size big for the Mountain Giant rip off the top too. And now it's just gonna Flame Strike, push the 1.
The sad, sad 1.
He could have made it bigger. I mean, he had opportunities to drop the bananas, but it's kind of like what you were talking about, having the extra 1/1 buffs. Makes it that Mountain Giant is a little bit better.
That belongs in a museum.
Ooh. Arcanilla picked up. Still not really much for Bloodyface to do, though.
Yeah, but now that he has more like hand refill, he can finally go for the bananas because the Banana Buffoon and Stargaze Luna will get him more cards. Muzzy has to also test for the secrets. Very, very annoying secrets.
Yep, it is.
It is Spellbender.
Spell.
But in his mind, it could be Counterspell, but I mean, he'll have to just go ahead and take that chance when the time comes. For now, Bloodyface has 2 Sea Giants in hand, which are pretty clunky. He could go for a Stargaze Luna banana play off the Banana Buffoon.
What to do? What
Honestly,
to
seems
do?
like the best play.
Yep, and then
Oh, okay.
An array of frost then. Okay.
Well, the Sea Giant is quite likely to stick because Muzzy would have to have 2 shield slams, a brawl. There would be a lot of things that he would have to check for.
Well,
And-
Muzzy's probably going to make something first. There's no counter spell. Try the... If he tries the shield slam, he's going to get denied here.
Yep.
So Dr. Boom Mad Genius makes the most sense.
I'm so glad.
Zap.
I don't know. I think you got to try the shield slam here.
I don't know if I agree. He has a brawl, so if the Conjurer's Calling comes out, he can brawl and most likely deal with it.
This would be a good time for a master plan.
The Zap also prevents the preemptive trade on the Harrison.
That's true.
Job done.
Yeah, I think I like holding. I do understand your reasoning, TJ, which is that if you don't deal with it, your opponent might have a bigger threat wave coming. But Muzzy has some good removal tools, and he is accounting for Spellbender. People sometimes like forget that, right? Oh, I tested for a spell, I could play a spell. Spellbender would have also been very bad for Muzzy to use in this spot.
I would have been worried about another secret.
What to do?
Well, yeah, because he hasn't tested for anything else.
He hasn't tested for anything else.
He
So
hasn't tested for Splitting Image,
it's a 1 in 5 right now to be Spellbender.
but it's almost as if he knew, right? Based off
It's
his
almost as if he knew, but I think that's more based off of bloodyface's line of play. It would either be Counterspell or Spellbender based on like what.
right, because Splitting Image just feels too easy to take advantage of.
Yeah.
Caligos, but the first spell that has been played, it's just been cheapened. 12 health does make it fairly difficult for Muzzy to remove everything with just 1 Omega Devastator.
I think banana trade ping.
Sea Giant.
Huh. Okay.
So now Muzzy has that brawl opportunity.
Yeah, I kind of wanted to make the board like as awkward as possible for Brawl to deal with because Muzzy has 2 brawls.
Right.
So if you like banana trade ping, you have 2 4/12s on board. How does Muzzy deal with that?
That's fair. I guess in this case, he could just go for a cheap brawl.
For a master plan.
If he goes for the brawl... Well, okay, so Muzzy first tested for the secret, no mirror entity. He can also test for a Splitting Image by attacking to the 2/2, and if it's a Splitting Image, then he can brawl the copy of the minion afterwards. But if it's not Splitting Image,
He could narrow it down to Spellbender exactly.
Right.
Because he can also attack face with Harrison Jones.
yes.
Oh,
Well,
you think.
it's kind of weird if it was Splitting Image based off bloodyface's play, because why would he leave that 2/2 up, right?
Yeah.
Tests for the counter spell, or Spellbender rather, sees it as exactly what he suspected. Clears off the board with the Explodinator and the Execute. Nicely done by the Muzz. Incidentally, Bloodyface is given spells and value off of Blast Wave because of the Goblin Bombs. That's actually fairly important, given that Bloodyface can now collect value off of these spells that generally are pretty useless in this matchup.
What to do? What to do?
So I think what could be explored here as one option is to ping the 0/2 Blast Wave and then Banana Buffoon maybe to set up the Zori. If he plays this, is he planning on going in with Mountain Giant?
It looks like it. Maybe that last turn was a test for Brawl. Because he may think that there's no Brawl right now.
Right. Which is part of the strength of Warrior being able to utilize his removal like that. But even if it is a brawl, does he have removal? He does! He picks up the Shield Slam! So now he can clearly remove everything.
He can also pick up Omega Devastator. from this Omega assembly, and then it'd be an even cleaner removal. Doesn't find it.
Yeah, well, he finds the other Omega Devastator. It costs 10 mana, though. So Shield Slam deals with one of these threats.
Maybe.
He's actually really close to just clearing everything without Brawl, too.
Yeah.
But he still could go for the Brawl in this position. I don't think it's needed, though, given that he's most likely holding Brawl for the Conjurer's Calling with the Khadgar combo.
Yeah, he was like 1 damage off from clearing. Shield Slam into Nazari, Dynamatic, and then turning over and trade in.
He's very close, and Muzzy respects the Mountain Giant. Oh man, this Blast Wave is just like asking for value.
Both of them are asking for value. He's not gonna play him. I could still play it. Oh.
Whoa.
Behold
Oh.
the tools
Whoa.
of creation.
Because that Lotus Pocket Galaxy draws a card.
Yes, and it could potentially get that Antonitis.
Behold the tools of creation.
1 mana Cyclone?
Behold the tools of
Full hand.
creation.
Full hand, 0 mana spells are nowhere to be seen.
He played that Mana Cyclone quite fast. Because if he burns Archmage Antonitis, his chances of winning this game are next to none.
TJ, I don't have a good feeling about this.
I don't either.
My hand is too full.
Why, Bloodyface? Why? You did this to yourself.
That Mana Cyclone was quite greedy.
Oh no, what a disaster.
What to do? What to do?
But it's just like, meh. I've seen crazier.
Jaina asking the cheeky questions. Muzzy with a stone cold reaction. He has all business for the Muzz. Dude, do you understand that Bloodyface could have generated like 50 damage of fireballs? I mean, I'm just rounding up.
Runs out on me.
No such thing as a 50 damage of fireball.
Yep, and if that's the case, if you have a 1-cost Archmage Antonitis in your deck, the only thing you have to do is not fill your hand up.
Oh! Wow!
Oh, he's going in.
Macedonian.
This one turned out nicely.
Subject 9. Well, I mean, Muzzy has the Brawl. He also has Warpath, but Macedonian being 6 health is pretty clutch.
Yeah, and you don't really want Dalmaster Dorian to survive because then it could pull a high-cost minion that can then be Conjurer's Calling even if it's a 1/1.
I don't know. A lot of minions have been drawn, and Bloodyface is almost decked out.
I think you brawl.
He has 1 more Mountain Giant, and it'd be a... Isn't it a 1/1 copy of it?
Yeah, but it's still you can Conjurer's Calling.
Yeah, but he's used one. He's used 1 Conjure Calling. He's gotten 1 randomly off. Oh.
Oh.
Amazing.
Just one of those kinds of games.
Just yep.
Muzzy looks so shocked that he won that brawl. I can't even...
He doesn't. He doesn't. There's no.
His eyes are so wide open.
Okay. There's
like-
a slight smirk. There we go.
Yeah. Just one of those games.
Just one of those games.
All right, now is the time to Blast Wave? Absolutely not.
So he pretty much has to wait for the Conjurer's Calling. Ooh. Yeah, that Blast Wave. Ooh. About that. Muzzy's hand is not great, but
It doesn't need to be great.
yeah, it doesn't need to be.
Because he has inevitability. He just wins purely off of Archivist Elysiana because Bloodyface runs out of threats and can't play any more cards. And Bloodyface is big chillin'. Time is on Muzzy's side. He can actually just hero power and pass. He doesn't have to do anything. In fact, one thing that he has to consider is if he does develop, can he answer one final Mountain Giant Conjurer's Calling for push? And that's probably why he's actually drawing cards here, because he feels like he might need more resources to deal with it.
Yeah.
Okay, well now you can deal with it for sure.
There's still a Rush Minion left in this deck?
I think
Oh,
so.
wow. Okay.
Just gathering all the resources possible and needed to diffuse any kind of Mountain Giant board situation.
And accruing the health possible to take a few hits if necessary.
A few.
A lot.
Blast Wave?
Need the best 2 Conjurer's Callings. Wait, what?
Delay.
Okay.
Delay. Okay, Pyroblast is,
Man, imagine if those bananas were fireballs.
Well, yeah, he could have had, 4 or 5 fireballs.
Probably even more, to be honest.
Yeah, maybe more.
Yeah.
That'd be close to enough.
Yeah.
I don't know. Warriors right now at 42 life and can go up to 49. Seems a little...
I kind of like the Elysiana here, to be honest. Only 3 cards left in the deck.
Sure. Fine, good stuff.
Yeah. Ooh, Cairn.
Stormpeg Commando. I went to Elec is interesting too.
Yeah, especially since you're more weighted towards getting warrior cards, so you can pick up bomb cards. But at this point, it doesn't matter. It's just about limited
Ancient
board space.
Brewmaster. Omega Devastator, Ancient Brewmaster.
Whew.
Oh, the Splitting Festerrook. Hatul Special.
Oh, I love that view.
There's only one class of...
No, that was Festerroot Hulk.
Oh, was it?
Yeah.
Oh.
I don't think anybody has ever played Splitting Festerroot in any deck.
You're right, you're right. It was different Festerroot. Oh, man. Good times, good times.
Good times, good times.
I'm failing to see how Bloodyface can generate enough damage. As Mountain Giant would have to hit face 8 times to get through all the armor.
What? What's 8 times 8, Dan?
64.
Okay.
I'm anticipating him to get blast shields and use weapons project and stuff in between. Because if you just say 6 times, that's not really true.
It also doesn't hit as hard.
What do you mean?
The narrative, Dan.
Sorry, I must be missing.
No.
I'm sorry I disappoint you, TJ.
Gosh, never mind, Dan. You never understand me. You don't understand my needs.
Do you feel so alone?
You don't understand my needs.
Do you feel so alone, TJ? Because if so, take it over.
Someday I'll be just like you.
You're not the only romantic interest in my life that's told me that before. Mountain Giant. Oh, the Conjurer's Calling, card number 3. Here we go. Last ditch effort. It's a good one though. Wow. Imagine he had Mana Cycle at the end of all this. Then that would have been pretty sick. Playing a bajillion spells this round.
Muzzy doesn't have a way to remove this.
Doesn't really have a way to remove all of it right now, but I mean, he's got it. He's got Omega Devastator. He's got Ancient Brewmaster.
He can go Militia Commander.
He can go Militia Commander.
Yeah, the next turn, Dynamatic Militia Commander.
Making Weapons Project down this 3-2. Fatigue is the win condition at this point. Yeah, seems good to me.
He's gonna calculate in his head. Last card is element. Last cards are elemental evocation plus a randomly generated spell.
Yeah, I guess Weapons Project means that he gives his opponent life. This way, he has what feels like a guaranteed clear with just the one Dynamatic, and then the Zap. And that should do it. Through sheer willpower and determination, bloodyface has gotten Muzzy down to his starting life total. And that is going to be game number 1 over to Muzzy.
Oh man! And the real story of that game was bloodyface.
Just uncharacteristic like errors.
Yeah.
You know, we know bloodyface to be an incredibly sharp technical player, but that game was not reflective or indicative of his true skill whatsoever.
Yeah.
It looked sloppy from a lot of corners.
And maybe it was a conscious decision to fill up his hand, but I think that in itself is incorrect.
Yeah.
So whichever way you slice it. But still lots of series left to play. They both have decks designed to counter the other one.
Yes, that is what you should be doing in Specialist.
It doesn't always work out that way.
It doesn't always work that way.
No.
And to be fair, he even has the counter already in his primary deck, Luna's
Yeah.
Pocket Galaxy. He just has to not fill up his hand for when
Not fill up his hand and
goes.
burn the one-man Archimage Antonitis. That'd be nice.
Gosh, Scintillol, were you watching?
Maybe we'll replay this one on every Hearthstone broadcast we'll do for the next 6 months.
All right, well, with that, let's take a break. When we come back, we're going to jump back into this series, Bloodyface versus Muzzy.
The shadows are rising again, darker than they've ever been. As evil descends from the skies, the world cries out, how will we survive? Out of the hall of explorers, and up from the dusty tombs, they grab their whips and fedoras. These legends of the past know exactly what to do. There might be magic monsters, mummies in the markets, and ancient mysticism. There should be scorching deserts, adventure, monster, and narcissism. High stakes think annihilation, obliteration of civilization. Now is the time to be brave. Evil's come to enslave, but this league's gonna save the world.
Mazahidul Islam. I go by Muzzy in game. My username, as you know, my first name is Mazahidul. It's kind of difficult to say for some people, and every time someone calls you, they're gonna have to say, "Hey, Mazahidul." That's long, and you don't want to say that. My friend gave me a nickname, like, "Hey Muzz, hey Muzzy." So I sort of just took that, and name's Muzzy. I took a look at the list of players. Some of them have been more focused on streaming, I would say, in these past few years. I've participated at the highest levels of competition that they might not have appeared in. I'm the player to beat in my group, for sure. The thing that I most look forward to about competing in Grandmasters is the thrill of the competition. It's really why I play Hearthstone. It's what I've enjoyed doing for the past 3 or 4 years, and it's what I'll continue to enjoy doing, hopefully. I think Hearthstone Instinct is definitely my greatest skill set. I think that if I took a break for a while and didn't play the game and came back to new cards, I think I could pilot a new deck fairly well, fairly quickly. People would always mention the term burnout to me. Burnout, burnout, burnout. I didn't know what it was. I would constantly play Hearthstone all the time. I definitely want to have more titles and put my name in Hearthstone history.
My name is Brian Eason, also known as Bloodyface. When I first started playing Hearthstone, the first deck that I crafted was Miracle Rogue, and it was pretty much the only deck I played. I love combo style decks. I don't like really being aggressive per se, but I like having a deck that has a very aggressive finish. I think my X factor, maybe my defining characteristic, is that I think about everything. I mean, you could say that's like a characteristic of overthinking, but I think it's important to overthink because you're playing against like the best minds. And it's important to be understanding that everyone else is also capable of doing that. So you need to be able to outthink everybody. From a competitive standpoint, I want to improve as a player. Against Hunter Ace, I think I made a pretty big mistake. I really care about just making sure that whenever I play Hearthstone, it's my best Hearthstone. Initially, when I found out about Grandmasters, I kind of felt like, it was just like kind of another league. But it wasn't until I was actually standing next to the other Grandmasters at Worlds that it made me feel like kind of emotional. We just had such a high concentration of like pure talent to actually hit that level and, rub shoulders alongside them. It means a lot to me. Playing at the highest level is super interesting because people do unpredictable things. So I look forward to the mind games.
Bloodyface currently down 0-1, looking to see if we can turn it around for his playoff race. Muzzy looking to improve his playoff standings with a win here. Would put him in equal standing with Amnesiac, and a defeat for Bloodyface would also eliminate him. So, we'll see.
It's important for both players. Muzzy, if he wins, he opens up the possibility of a three-way tie at 7 wins. Between him, PNC, and Amnesiac. But Muzzy's last match of the week is against Strife Crow. So if Muzzy wins here, he'll be 6-7. So one of Strife Crow and Muzzy are guaranteed 7 wins. And then it relies on whether or not Amnesiac and PNC can both get 7 wins as well.
Right, so your 5-way tie scenario is that Muzzy has to lose this to Bloodyface, but then beat Strife Crow so that they're both 6-8. Then Bloodyface and PNC Amnesiac.
Then Bloodyface plays against Amnesiac, so Bloodyface beats Amnesiac, so they're both 6-8. And then PNC plays against Frozen and Eddie, the top 2, so his matches don't affect the overall standings outside of his own outcome. He loses to both Frozen and Eddie. Everybody's 6-8. And in that scenario, since Bloodyface has taken wins against, Frozen, against Eddie, his tiebreaker is just high already, even though he's at 1 less win. So if you count for 2 more wins added to his score and only 1 more win max added to everybody else's score, his tiebreaker shoots up. So that's why if there is a 6-way tie, or a 5-way tie at 6 wins. If there is a 5-way tie at 6 wins, Bloodyface has the most likelihood of qualifying. So even though he's at 4-8 right now, he's in 7th place. He's the most likely if everybody qualifies. If everybody gets 6 wins. If there's
a 5-way tie for 3rd place. So the way the standings would look, as we play Town Crier on 1, good opening hand here for Muzzy. The way the standings would look, TJ, if I'm hearing correctly, would be 1st Frozen, 2nd Eddie, 3rd for Muzzy, Amnesiac, Strife Crow, PNC, and Bloodyface.
8th Firebat.
No! That's so sad. When everyone else is top 3 in your 8-man division except for you. Feels bad, man.
Oh, jeez.
Poor Firebat. I expect him to come out next season. Guns blazing.
Come out wings blazing.
Taking no prisoners. He was just luring everyone to a false sense of security now for this season. He wants to make it dramatic for them.
Yeah.
Well, I think the match history bar summarizes everything there is to talk about. There's not really many things going on. Bloodyface does not want to play his early game cards like Mana Cyclone and Khadgar this early. It's not that kind of matchup. Sometimes you see mages act in desperation early on because their hands are awkward, so they'll play like a Mana Cyclone for like 1 or 2 spells if the matchup is very board, tempo-oriented. Not really the case here because he knows that almost anything Muzzy would play is just going to answer it.
Yeah.
Control Warrior is the closest thing to an basically just a pure control deck, which is remove everything and doesn't have a direct win condition in itself. So it is the closest thing that we have to a fatigue deck right now. Even though it doesn't necessarily play for it.
I miss the fatigue decks of old, Dan.
I do not.
What? They were sick with Colite Oracles and Death Lords?
I mean, it was cool the first few times. It wasn't cool after a while. I personally find joy and pleasure in like doing things for victory as opposed to just simply staring at your opponent and waiting for them to leave. That's my personal preference. Mainly because there's better things that I can do with that extra time I can gain in my life.
Maybe now I would think differently, because now I do value that time.
Yeah.
But 5 years ago, oh boy.
TJ, you have a family, you have a growing boy, and you only get an hour to play. Would you rather play, 5 or 6 games of like Hunter and Cyclone Mage and Tempo Rogue?
No,
Or would you play one
game of
warrior?
Fatigue Mage.
There you go.
I play Bomb Warrior a lot on ladder, actually. But I play really fast.
But I mean, Bomb Warrior at least has like a game plan, which is to eventually win. Which is why I don't really understand the frustration when people are like, "Oh, Bomb Warrior is just like a normal warrior. You just don't do anything." Like, no, actually, you do have to play it fairly aggressively.
Behold the tools
You're
of
just
creation.
playing a worse control warrior. Oh, Lewis Pocket Galaxy finds its way into the hand. Sorry to get sidetracked, guys.
Because of that, I don't want to see Arcane Enemies play.
Well, he can play whatever spell he gets off the right side of his hand. Finds 2 expensive cards. In fact, 2 of the worst cards in this matchup. That could probably come into the mage spell arsenal. If you're gonna get AoE freeze, you actually want cheaper freeze so that things can become easier to play.
Time runs out on me.
I don't know if I like the Arcane Intellect there, Dan. He still has
I think it's fine.
Astromancers, Archmage Antonidas, a Mountain Giant. Oh wait, no, he doesn't have a Mountain Giant. He's already played one. All right, well, if that's the case, if he had like 1 or 2 more threats in the deck, I wouldn't have liked it, because the difference between a 1-mana Archmage Antonidas and a 7-mana Archmage Antonidas in this matchup, night and day.
Well, it's actually just 6 mana difference.
That's huge. That's massive. Well, the difference between a 1-mana.
I'm being facetious.
But like, imagine if he had Arcane Intellected and the second card he picked up was Archmage Antonidas. Even just those two card difference, I think it's big.
Fair enough.
The only way I'd like it is if he plans on never playing Luna's Pocket Galaxy.
I think that would be incorrect to never play Luna's Pocket Galaxy. In fact, I'd go as far as to say that he should play it right now. I don't think you lose too much by letting your opponent have these security mechs on board. And I think you have a lot to gain by playing Luna's Pocket Galaxy this turn. Alternatively, he could just Blizzard. Oh, whoa, I was not expecting this play. But perhaps he's going to Conjure's Calling and then Luna's Pocket Galaxy afterwards. Interesting. I don't know if the sequencing there was particular. Oh, he was, in case he gets Auctioneer. Okay. That's a really high level play. Why would you Conjure's Calling first before you play Luna's Pocket Galaxy? Because there's a chance that you would get an impact if you play a spell afterwards.
Is there something that punishes you?
That I don't know off the top of my head, but I know that there are cards that reward him, so.
What if he got Missile Launcher?
I don't think that changes anything.
Then he'd want to get rid of it. He would summon another security bot and damage his own board and not clear off anything from Muzzy's board.
I guess. There used to be ways to punish you with the Rubian Unraveler.
Oh, but that's an argument for playing Conjure's Calling first also. Just going more towards the correct argument.
Yeah.
Then you have the option of Conjure's Calling again afterwards.
Yeah, you're right. It's just a cool little spot there to help improve your odds in case anything ever happened. Because once you play Luna's Pocket Galaxy, every card that you draw does matter a lot. Bud's going to make the trade here just to restrict the board size. Knows that with Luna's Pocket Galaxy played, it is a difficult uphill battle Mr. Jones,
belongs in a museum.
giving you a little preview of what's to come. How come Harrison Jones isn't in the League of Explorers? I feel like he would totally fit in. I guess Reno said there's only room for one good-looking, what's the term? Archaeologist? Yeah.
Are they both archaeologists?
Well, isn't
What
the
to
idea that
do?
Reno just like
What to
chases
do?
after treasure and you like find ancient
Yeah.
relics and stuff?
So does Harrison Jones.
Yeah.
Rafam is also an archaeologist. He's an evil archaeologist, which
He's a supreme archaeologist. Bloodyface picks up the Ziliax, really cheap, effective way to answer the board here. Still not committing to his Mountain Giant and his Khadgar yet because, quite frankly, he wants to bait out Muzzy's removal with the Brawl and stuff before he commits to it, and once he does, it's game over. If you ever can get a warrior in a position where they've already exhausted their removal through Brawls, and you play Mountain Giant, Khadgar, Conjurer's Calling, I've never seen a warrior win from that position.
But if you wait too long, it gives them a chance to pick up the second brawl.
Right. And I think Bloodyface already has accepted that he has one Brawl, and so he needs to force it out, and then maybe the second Brawl can come out. And then even after, he has Sorcerer's Apprentice with the Mana Cyclone ready to go. So he's got a 3-layered plan. The first layer is what's on board. Second layer is the additional board flood with the Mountain Giants. And the third is the follow-up Hail Mary spells to the wall.
So Muzzy just wants to not use Brawl until he has to. Until he's dead.
Well, I mean, that's what we saw in the previous game even, right?
Yeah, and it worked.
Refuse to use your Brawl. Say no to Brawl, kids. That's kind of basically Muzzy's mantra here.
Say no to Brawl until you're about to die.
Never Brawl, not even once.
Not even once. Brawl's
Magic
gateway
trick.
removal, man.
His gateway removal. Well,
First you're gonna Brawl, then you're gonna Twisting Nether.
dude, honestly,
downhill from there.
every Mana Cyclone is definitely like another hit. It's like, okay. Y'all got any more of them random spells?
Wait. Is he go
This looks like he's gonna go for a Mana Cyclone this turn.
So what's he gonna do to kill the Ziliax? Because he doesn't want to throw this.
Blizzard.
Okay, yeah, you're right.
Which is a very interesting. Oh, another Pocket Galaxy, but that's obviously not going to be useful here. Oh, a mirror entity. Oh, it's the second mirror entity.
Yeah. Very powerful turn though. And now Muzzy has to worry about checking secrets. He has no armor total. It's also a pretty big board. Bloodyface still keeps the Mountain Giant Khadgar Conjurer's Calling play alive.
Well, there's 2 Dynamatics. This opens to at least kill the Sorcerer's Apprentice. Ideally, kill off the Bane. But he sees the secret reveal, therefore he could use Execute in this spot.
Yeah, Dynamatic is very likely to kill off the 2 1-health minions and leave the Bane at 1 health.
I do kind of wonder if it's better for him to play a Mega Assembly in this position. But if he does, I don't know what he's going to want to pick up alternatively. So maybe it's better for him to just drop the Acolyte.
Yep. See, the weird thing about this deck, Dan, and it keeps coming back to me, is you don't have enough removal to remove all their stuff, and you cut Elysiana.
Why don't you feel like you don't have enough removal for their stuff?
You have 1 Big Game Hunter, 2 Super Colliders, 2 Executes, 2 Brawls, 2 Shield Slams. You have a lot. But Control Warrior wasn't winning this matchup last week when the secondary decks were involved.
What to do?
It just wasn't.
Well,
and because they run out of stuff.
It did win.
It won once. Right?
I'll check.
Monsanto beat somebody.
Yeah,
What to
Monsanto
do,
beat
what to do.
Naugidon.
Yep.
And then doesn't look like we actually had another Control Warrior versus Cyclone Mage.
Oh, okay.
It was always Bomb Warrior.
Oh, okay.
Time runs out
Oh,
on
we
me.
did have one. Monsanto actually beat 2 mages.
Oh.
He beat Naugidon and he beat ETC with Control Warrior. Now we know Naugidon doesn't play Luna's Pocket Galaxy out.
Ah, yeah. But the Luna's Pocket Galaxy version is like, I don't know.
Holy smokes.
Oh no, I was thinking about the Rogue matchup that I wanted them to switch to Mechathune.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was thinking the Rogue matchup. That's my fault.
This Witchwood Grizzly summon is pretty powerful.
Yeah.
But Muzzy thinking about what he wants to do in this situation here.
So the hand is 4 randomly generated spells and 2 cards from Bloodyface's deck. He's seen Khadgar, he saw the second charge of the Conjurer's Calling. Can't you just pull the trigger on Brawl here? Mirror Entity is great for him because that's 1 poorer target. And the Khadgar summons 2!
Yes, that's right. Khadgar interacts with secrets. Bloodyface hoping that the Brawl lands on a good minion. The Khadgar! But he doesn't have any summon cards. If he finds a Conjurer's Call...
Astromancer!
Astromancer will summon 2! He upgrades his minion summon by 1 with this banana buffoon play. Astromancer will summon 7 drops. Oh, I am scared. I think 7 mana. I would take 6 mana over 7 mana almost every time.
Yeah.
I'm just scared of Baron Geddon.
I'll be your field guide.
But looks like he gets the new card, the classic set,
The Baron's Stable Hand.
Shrek. Oh, yes.
It's
Baron's Stable Hand.
yeah.
Battle Cry summon a random beast. Very thematic to Shrek. Summon a random donkey.
Except in his art.
Yeah, I mean, it's just is that. It's a random beast.
Oh, it's like a
So he has the
Dinosaur.
Mega Devastator and Super Collider this turn. There's 13 power showing. He goes down to 22. He is dead to a Pyroblast. And I think if you're dead to Pyroblast, that's when you're Muzzy and you think to yourself, it'd be like that sometimes.
Yep. And you're very dead if Bloodyface were to draw the 1 mana Archmage Antonitis that he has in his deck.
They really do be like that sometimes. Now, what do you kill? The 4/4s or the 2/2s? You save more life this way, and you've got to think, well, I didn't use Conjurer's Calling. He was playing his Astromancer off the top. Oh, boy. The punish.
There he is.
Oh, my goodness.
Uncle Tony.
Is that even just like...
I mean, it's over the next 3 turns, almost absolutely.
Yeah, I was just counting. 11. He had like 17 damage this turn. He didn't have enough, but this is game over. The Antonite is at 1 mana. Muzzy can't answer it.
Nope. I'm just turning every single one of these into a fireball if I can.
Yeah, and push the damage.
Yep, and try and play around Super Collider the best you can, but if Muzzy's taking damage by swinging places, then he's dead anyway.
Yeah, Bloodyface has the damage. His biggest limitation is mana. That's gonna do it. Tied series going into game number 3. Primo drama in day number 1 here, week 7, the last week of the regular season before we go into playoffs week, where we will crown a season 1 America's champion.
That's right. Playoffs week next week going to be a little shorter. There's 3 matches a day, and we'll throughout the rest of the weekend. We'll start talking once we have more playoff spots secured, what the playoff format looks like. First place gets a bye. They're basically like a small group. There's cross-division play in the first round of playoffs, which is
About time.
which is quite cool because they'll get to play against an opponent that they haven't played against all season in round 1 of the playoffs. But for now, it's about bloodyface and muzzy. Bloodyface needs this win to keep his playoffs hope alive, whereas muzzy, by getting this win, he gives himself some wiggle room going into the last day against Strife Grow. Actually, no, he doesn't. He needs to win both. If he loses Strife Grow wins that head-to-head. So both players in a situation where they kind of got to win out in order to make that playoff dream a reality.
Just win.
Just win.
That's just what you need to do.
Yep.
Staying on the same decks here, so Muzzy going to be on secondary. Bloodyface going to his secondary as well. I got to say that Bloodyface did a great job layering his threats. I wouldn't have used Conjurer's Calling in the Cairn in that position, but it makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
And when you combine it with the Lose Pocket Galaxy, you just saw magic happen.
Yep.
So we're going to go into game number 3, where the winner of this will take the best of the series and improve their chances in the playoffs. Muzzy with the full mulligan. Needs his high impact removal. Needs to find maybe even Dr. Boom Mad Genius. I think that's a very crucial card going into the mid stage of the game. One way you can answer giant pocket galaxy swing turns. Everything having rush.
Yeah, without like Blastmaster Boom, Mad Genius becomes the entire focal point of the deck, essentially.
No hero power on the left.
Well, if he knows his play is going to be make a turn 3 play, then make a turn 4 play, and he's never going to end up pinging this thing off anyway, I can understand
Sure.
it.
If he anticipates that he's going to play a minion that gets traded to by the 1/2, I guess it doesn't really matter that much.
Yep.
He's at 9 cards, so he can still hold.
Important to clear off the Banana Buffoon because that thing can get out of control.
Yeah, not really that many great options here for Bloodyface, given that he has a lot of redundancy. He's got 2 mirror images. He's got 2 expensive mains he can't play. Harrison doesn't really do anything right now.
What to do? What to do?
What's the card in the far left?
I
Is
believe it is
Conjurer's
Conjurer's Calling.
Yeah.
Hiding next to Harrison.
Going for removal.
Just freeing up his hand space.
Yeah.
Mana Cyclone does run into this where they just have awkward pairings of cards. They have some cards that are just like absolute superstars, but they need to need to have the right support package. And right now, Bloodyface has like good cards in the hand, but just no synergy.
Unity, precision, perfection.
Really, actually, quite a tough card to use like that, just because, especially with Luna's Pocket Galaxy on the other side, that burst of healing in the late game can sometimes be pretty crucial.
Well, this is a turn where Bloodyface could go for giant Conjurer's Calling and summon a big board, but knows that he's walking into what feels like any removal opportunity that Muzzy wants.
Yeah.
He could shield slam stuff, he could execute it, Super Collider, Big Game Hunter. Even has a board that he can drop Dynamatic on the Giants. Not that it'd be super effective,
What
but
to
just to
do?
show you how much
What
Muzzy
to
has.
do?
Bloodyface might, my best option might either be go for the giant play or go for the snip snap. I think either of those.
What about both?
I think
runs
I
out on
like
me.
snip snap just by itself because it gives you the option to
Yeah.
answer the board back.
Mountain Giant by itself is way too vulnerable to Dynamatic.
Oh, magnetizes it, so he plays around the individual single target removal, but he's weak to this Ironbeak Owl Silence. Oof. That's gonna sting.
Oof. Yeah. And one thing to keep in mind is you talked about some of the Control Warrior versus Cyclone Mage matches last week. Monsanto was winning by killing his opponent, not by running him out of threats, which was a crazy sight to see.
Yeah, he was just playing things on curve to have tempo on the board.
Yeah. Astromancer?
What to do? What to do?
It does seem like Astromancer would pull a lot of heat away from your face. It seems like Muzzy's slowly but surely kind of like pushing his tempo advantage of having a little bit stick onto the board, a little bit go to face. Astromancer would pull out a 9-mana minion.
I wonder.
And that's as good as Astromancer really gets. The alternative is Mountain Giant
Runs
again.
out on me.
I'm not a big fan of that. Mountain Giant Conjure's Calling gets increasingly worse with a lot of small minions on the board too, because Graveheart can answer it.
Oh!
Yes, Sarah.
Gotta throw away the Elemental Evocation
Wait, why?
to make room for the Dream card.
But he... Oh, right, for the 9th card.
Yeah, because he'd burn a card.
Yep, you're right. He does not want to burn any more cards.
Yeah, he doesn't have Archmage Antonitis though, and a Giant, but he wants Khadgar, he wants second Mountain Giant, he wants a Cairn, he wants second Astromancer.
You're right.
Luna's Pocket Galaxy. The list goes on.
Fortunately, his best card discount is in the hand with the Archmage Antonitis. Once again, Muzzy can push a little bit of damage here with the Militia Commander. Just taking out the 5/5 if he so desires. Can also just use Dynamatic to snipe this thing off. What I like about using Militia Commander versus Dynamatic is that Dynamatic gets rush off the Doctor move. But Militia Commander is cheaper and it does more immediate damage to a single target, so it's still fine here.
Mm-hmm.
Mana Cyclone.
I think he's got to go for Mountain Giant. Plus Conjure's Calling here. Mana Cyclone, there's really not... He could like mirror image, banana, Mana Cyclone. But that feels just really weird, and he wants the fodder for Archmage Antonitis, it feels. But Muzzy, he's just happy with this kind of pace of threat generation from bloodyface because it's allowing to just have a single answer for each one.
And push a little damage every time. That's kind of what we're talking about.
Yeah.
You don't have that much, just push it a little bit.
Yep.
With the 3/2 or the 3/4? 3/2 having lifesteal versus the 3/4 having more life on its body. Do you like the bigger butt, or do you like the life gain?
Pain, speak to me.
I don't know. I think I like the life gain.
I mean, if you're going to be using Super Collider repeatedly, the life gain is better. But in this case, I think Muzzy's doing a pretty decent job just pushing damage, making his board resilient. And also, I think having more health and wearing bigger pants on your board is just like better against like Cinder Storms and Shooting Stars and anything else that your opponent can generate.
Ray of Frost, I guess it survives Ray of Frost.
It's true. 2 Mana Cyclones, somewhat implying that bloodyface should be generating random spells at this point, but hard to justify. He also could Harrison Jones and overdraw.
What to do? What to do?
So he had to dump a card first, mirror image, and then Harrison.
That belongs in a museum.
He has no Sea Giants in the deck, so he's not exactly like he's drawing for it. Finds Cairn and Zilliax.
Maybe Conjure's Calling on the 5-drop. Okay.
Some pretty okay options. He finds the Convincing Infiltrator, which is a destroy a random enemy minion death rattle. That's a card that I ran into a lot in Arena.
It's quite good.
It wrecks me in that format all the time.
Yeah.
Not that Priest is good, but that card specifically is very nice.
Second Super Collider.
Yeah, Muzzy has a board clear here entirely if he so desires. So he's going to take this opportunity to play Dr. Mad Genius. Feeling like he's got a lot of life to work with, and he does. He even picks up the Blast Shield.
Which negates the 7 damage on board, so he can buy himself a turn. Maybe wait for a Brawl and another Conjurer's Calling. He's gotten through both Conjurer's Callings, or the first half of Conjurer's Calling.
Does not attack the 0-2. He makes the Brawl worse for bloodyface and makes difficult for him to summon more minions.
Yeah, this is smart.
Yeah, a lot of auto people, myself included, would have autopiloted and just killed that 0-2 mirror image.
Must kill board.
Yeah.
Board bad.
Well, it's like minion is green, must do something.
Yeah.
Don't waste attacks.
Don't float mana.
It's funny because I was playing on a new account fairly recently just to kind of see what the free-to-play experience was like. I wanted to have a second account to play against myself to practice for GM so I could borrow decks. And the amount of people that sometimes just like forget to attack was really high from ranks 50 to 25. And it's funny because when you get to the high levels, sometimes you encounter that. It's like when you first learn, you're like, oh, you should always be attacking, and like the noobs like sometimes like play minion and not attack.
Yeah.
But it's like in this case, Muzzy like just didn't attack. It's funny how that works.
It all comes full circle.
Yeah. Like you become a really good player to the point where you realize that attacking is wrong.
It's kind of like the first and last stages of life.
That's right. I like that he uses the Nightmare here too because it helps get rid of that mirror image. It dies at the end of the turn. And by having the mirror image be a 1-2, it can trade it as well. So this is a good use of resources from bloodyface. Spread his damage, so that way nothing is single target for Omega Devastator to shut down. Make sure to restrict his board size so he can keep playing his cards and threatening his opponent.
This would be a good time for a master plan.
Overall, very good stuff here.
And this is a tough board state for Muzzy to deal with. Because if he goes for like a wide board removal, he has to account for the Convincing Infiltrator, which kills off a minion, the Karen surviving, as well as the one mirror image dying at the end of the turn. So it's not really a minion that you need to consider, or dying at the beginning of the next turn.
Yeah, Muzzy thinking about the Warpath here. He can Warpath 4 times, kill off everything, except for the Bane Bloodhook.
Is that an Astromancer picked up?
Looks like it.
Oof.
And now bloodyface can also increase the cost of that with the Banana Buffoon. Make it a full hand. Make it Muzzy summon another 9-mana minion.
My calculations are flawless.
Cenarius isn't the greatest. In fact, it's one of the worst, I'd say.
Let's hope for the crush.
Yeah, King Crush would have been really nasty for sure.
But Muzzy's still not out of the woods yet. He does have Blast Shield, but still has to kind of shoot through this board, and it looks like he's going to coin out Blast Shield. But a juiced up Archmage Antonidas can still do some work.
Dozens of turns in, finally getting value off of the the coin.
He pictured this exact scenario. He's like, oh, later in the game, I'm gonna need to Omega Devastator, Super Collider, and then coin out the Blast Shield.
Aha!
Oh, Sorcerer's Apprentice.
Full cost and Antoniah is not going to stop bloodyface from collecting handful of fireballs.
Aha!
Just go all in.
Right. He's seen Omega Devastator. What else is he going to try to prevent himself from dying towards? What would you put the bananas on here in this spot?
2 on the Archmage Antonias, 1 on the Sorcerer's Apprentice. Reason being is because the 2 on the Archmage Antonias plays around Shield Slam plus Kaboom. The 1 on the Sorcerer Apprentice just because you want the Sorcerer Apprentice to be more likely to survive combat in the following turns.
Makes sense to me.
Also spreads the wealth a little bit in case of a brawl. The 2 on the Archmage Antonias is the important one. The 3rd one doesn't really matter. Put it on the Archmage Antonias. Go ahead.
Yeah, I would say it's fairly important for sure. In fact, Muzzy still doesn't have a way to deal with it right now, guaranteed.
Okay, then.
So I guess he executes here then instead.
We can BGH.
All right, does not need to BGH or execute whatsoever.
Still needs to find life gain though. Right now there's 36 damage worth of fireballs. Time to start chucking.
Yeah, these fireballs will take your entire turn for 3 turns.
I think it's okay.
Put your opponent down to such little life. Face. Firing off a fireball.
Ooh, that's armor gain.
Oh, man. And if he finds a way to stay the nullifier, his mechs that have armor or gain life will be able to stay around forever.
Forever?
Forever.
Forever, ever? Forever, ever?
And ever.
Okay, then.
He's got the time.
Protocol 7.
Slightly less time now.
Yeah, not a lot of time for bloodyface or for Muzzy to do anything really. He has to just kind of gain life. Bloodyface trying to bait Muzzy into that death range because the moment bloodyface fires off 2 fireballs, Muzzy shield blocks, pressures, and sets up 2-turn lethal himself. Conjurer's Calling.
He doesn't really need another one.
Snap Freeze is pretty decent in this spot too.
Yeah. So Snap Freeze, he could Fireball plus Snap Freeze.
Yeah, from Bloodyface, it's kind of hard not to want to chuck fireballs immediately to your opponent, set up 2-turn lethal. If they do shield block, then you can still get past it with another fireball in the hand. But that is hard committing to what's happening. But your hand's 5 fireballs. Yes.
No! Yes.
Very much yes.
Now this forces Muzzy to have life gain.
Right, which he does. Shield block. And Bloodyface is like, ah, alright.
Ooh, we're turning him over.
Say the man.
magic word.
Swing.
Swing for the 1.
I don't think it gives you any breakpoints. You don't have any magnetic in the hand, but honestly, when are you
This
going to
would be
use
a
this
good time
discharge
for a
of Super
master
Collider? If you
plan.
attack into a minion, you're going to die to double fireball. Oh!
Oh, a bomb.
Wait, that's the breakpoint. 1 bomb plus the Super Collider. Now he's dead on board even with Snap Freeze. There's the breakpoint. I forgot that he had a bomb in his deck. He's playing against a Control Warrior. He played a
Right.
Clockwork Goblin earlier.
Oh, gosh. So now bloodyface has to think about.
Now he does have to fireball the minion.
What to do? What to do?
Oh, man. So I think you have to Snap Freeze, Fireball, and Mana Cycle.
You can also fireball the face twice, anyways. Just hope that he doesn't have any more life gain.
He'd be dead. He's dead on board.
Runs out on me.
Exactly dead on board.
Oh, he's going for broke. He's 1 more freeze. Arcane explosions. He's hoping for a miracle. There are none.
Oh, man.
Wow.
And Muzzy, there's the breakpoint he needed. The swing with the Super Collider setup. Last turn.
That's right.
And Muzzy takes the victory, and bloodyface has been eliminated from playoff contention.
5-man race has become a 4-man race, and Muzzy is going to stay alive to fight for another day. Ties up Amnesiac and Strifecrow at 6 and 7.
And PNC's at 6 and 6,
Yep.
and he plays in the next match. So we could have a 4-way 6-7 tie just today, and 2 of them play each other tomorrow.
It's exciting stuff. Good job to Muzz and making a comeback. And Muzzy, very much like Amnesiac, struggled throughout the first half of the season.
Yep.
Not getting those wins, but able to string them together when they counts the most. Bloodyface, I think just probably is going to go back to the drawing board for that very first game where things just kind of went disastrously for him. And he was like, man, what if? What if I was able to get that Antonitis? What if I got that burn? What if the series should have ended 2-0 in my favor and I would have been back in the playoff race?
And 9 times out of 10, you'll not get punished for that play. You'll overdraw a card.
Well,
that doesn't matter.
8 out of 9 times, actually.
Oh, well, okay.
Let's go ahead and check in with Muzzy, who won his match. Muzzy, you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
All right, man. Were you spooked at all towards that end of the series? It looked like you were on the ropes a little bit.
Yeah, the first game after he played the Galaxy, I was thinking, okay, if he still has the Tony in his deck, then the burn might just kill me. So I was like, oh, he overdraws 1 here, and then I see, I'm like, okay, I'll probably lose this game 1 to Tony. Maybe I can bring back the next 2 games, and then the Tony burn, and I was like, okay, I guess I win.
Yeah, your reaction was pretty stoic, but I could tell you're really excited about it. Did you prepare anything in particular, given that this is the last week and it was like, has huge implications for playoffs?
Yeah, I sort of talked with some people, and I sort of researched Bloody and their brings in the past week, and Control Warrior it's just a deck that it's just fine against everything I've found. So if you want like a deck, either Control or Bomb, if you just want a deck that's just fine versus almost all the field except for Togwaggle scheme like Pogo Rogue, that kind of stuff, it's difficult to beat. But besides that, it's just fine. So that's why I submitted it. It's a deck that I've been playing a little off stream and been climbing with it. So it's doing well for me and did well today.
Gotcha, cool. Any questions here on your end, TJ?
No, I know there's still a lot of things that can happen, but are you confident from this point out with your head-to-head against Strifecrow that you're going to be able to make it to playoffs?
Well, so I have 1 win and then the match versus Crow. I mean, I have Control Warrior. He has Rogue, but he doesn't have the scheme sideboard, right? He has the mech sideboard stuff.
Yeah.
So if he doesn't Warrior me down turn 5, let's say, on Sunday, then I stand a good chance.
Yeah.
I think it makes the playoffs.
If you beat Strive Crow, Bloodyface beats Amnesiac, and PNC loses to Frozen and Eddie, congratulations. You've just got yourself a third place.
We need Amnesiac to lose, though, because he's 2-0 versus me, and if he wins, then it's...
He would have to lose to Bloodyface.
Well, he has to lose. He has to lose.
Yeah.
Hopefully.
Yeah, there it is. We're looking at the stage right now. It's crazy.
Yeah, it's very tightly contested in Division A, which is really exciting. That's kind of what it was, right? You just want to make it dramatic at the end, Muzz?
Yep.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, all the players in GM are absolutely great players, right? So, like a tight race like this is sort of, I would say, expected. There's like some outliers here and there with people at the top of their division, but with the skill set of everyone and sort of adapting to new formats and everything, if we're all sort of similar in skill, I would say, since we made it to this level, like a very close race to the end, I think was expected.
Absolutely. It's kind of like ladder, right? Like everyone can queue up like one final game and just see how it is, and that's just where you land. Really exciting stuff. Congratulations, Muzzy, and we'll see you back later this weekend for the deciding match potentially in the playoffs.
See you guys then.